Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a reader with 27 years experience with the tarot. So we're going to dive into this mystery of who was D.B. Cooper, and wait till you hear this story. So if you've ever watched a comedy movie Without a Paddle or a number of other movies based on the legend of this man, it starts on Thanksgiving Day, 1971. D.B. Cooper purchased a ticket under an alias, Dan Cooper, then proceeded to skyjack Flight 305 of the Northwest Orient Airlines, which was bound for Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Right after the flight took off on what was supposed to be a 30-minute flight, Cooper told the flight attendant that he had explosives in his possession and demanded $200,000 for parachutes in addition to a refueling truck for when they would land at the airport they were originally headed for. Authorities paid out the ransom and gave Cooper the parachutes. After refueling began, he then told the pilot and crew where he wanted the plane to take him, which was Mexico City. However, 30 minutes into the flight, he jumped from the plane 10,000 feet near Mount St. Helens in Washington State. Not only was he never found, but Cooper's real identity also remains a mystery, and it's not known whether he survived the jump. In July of 2016, a two-part special aired on the History Channel about D.B. Cooper, where they named a man, Robert Rackstraw, as the man behind the mystery. Nonetheless, the FBI declared in the same month that they were no longer pursuing Mr. Rackstraw. Rackstraw, a 72-year-old man living on a boat in San Diego Bay, claims he considered filing a defamation suit against the television channel, but it was never filed. Whether or not he is D.B. Cooper remains a mystery. So who was Robert Rackstraw? Let's get into his life. He was a Vietnam War vet. He had an illustrious military career, elite military training, National Guard, climbed all the way to the ranks up to lieutenant. He was identified as a suspect in this in 1978. He had parachute training. He was released from the Army in 1971. He lied about attending 2 colleges, and it was discovered he was a high school dropout. He had attended helicopter school. Investigators actually tracked down a passenger sitting across from him, and he chose Rackstraw's photo as the man that jumped from the plane. However, when the investigators showed the flight attendants the same photos, she wasn't able to pick Rackstraw out of those. However, her counselors said that she probably was suffering trauma and shock from the hijacking of the plane experience. It could have affected her ability to know or be able to identify that picture. So here we have a mystery that will be wonderful to solve this with the tarot cards. Now, interestingly enough, Robert Rackstraw just passed away June 9th of 2019. So he was never charged with this crime. So we're going to go to the tarot cards and we're going to ask. So I'm going to start out with the Lenormand Tarot, and I'm going to just flat out ask, was D.B. Cooper, was this actually Robert Rackstraw? All right, so we're going to start there, and I'm going to pull 3 cards, all right? So we're going to pull 3 cards to determine, and remember the first card is going to be the key card, and the other 2 give information about the first one. So let's find out the first card now. Wow, he was a master. This is the bear. He's powerful. This is a powerful person, right? So we're dealing with somebody who, well, of course, he made his way up into the military ranks. Oh my God, there's the money flowing to him. That he wanted $200,000 back in 1971. Money flowing to him. This is the fish. Fish are money. Money going right toward the bear. Look at this. Oh my God. So this is about timing, and so this is about the timing of it. So the timing was right. In other words, the card is telling us to look at the timing. So here's the timing of it, is he got out of the military the same year that this happened. He was considered a deadbeat dad. He was a 4-time felon, escape artist, and a state prison convict. This was who Robert Rackstraw was. He was a master criminal. And because he had elite training in the military, think of what that could do for him. So the timing was perfect for him to be in there. Now we'll add another card down on the end. And look at the draw. Lucky. He was lucky at the timing. He was lucky with the timing. And oh my God, we get the whip, which is punishing. That could have been his motive, that he was trying to punish someone. He wanted to punish someone for he was kicked out of the military for lying. So let's grab the Haunted House Tarot and let's find out more about this Robert Rackstraw. What do we have to know about who he really was as a person involved in this? Wow, we've got mice. He was sneaky. Look at here, justice. He escaped. Escaping. The mice are escaping justice. He escaped justice. And the Six of Pentacles is a payout card. Believe it or not, it's a payout card. And he thought it was fair. He thought it was fair that he be paid out that money. He was angry that he got discharged. Of course, he lied, and he didn't have the highest integrity for a person. Oh my God, you guys, scales and scales. So justice was never served to him. He got away with it. He got away with it. The scales. In both of these cards, it's the scales. So he literally got away with this crime. I mean, he was a prime suspect, but he was going to sue them. He hired a lawyer, and he was going to sue them if they pursued him as a suspect. And for some reason, they left him alone. So this is fascinating. Wow. So this just means that, look at this, it's the horses on the ride. So this is a woman on a carousel ride. So he just considered this a wild ride. In other words, he had parachute training, so it made sense that it was him because he had helicopter training also. And so he was fully trained at jumping out of helicopters. So let's talk. I don't mind doing this. I'm going to actually see if we can talk to Robert Rackstraw. He passed away June 9th, and I want to say, what do you have to say about the fact that you got away with this? How do you justify that you got away with this? Look at him. He said he was chased. He felt like he had to run away all the time. He felt like he was on the run and he had to watch what he did all the time. This is racing across the waters. And the Ten of Pentacles is a lot of money. And he had to keep circulating that money in different places. He said he couldn't spend that money all in one place. And I'm like, are you admitting that you did this? This just shows that he's kind of interested. This is Two of Pentacles, sorry. This is Ten of Pentacles about the money. He's kind of interested in the fact that I'm reading the card on his situation, because he's like, I'm off the planet now. This is kind of a mute deal. Why? And the money, is there still any of the money here on Earth? I mean, did you bury or give the money away on Earth? So he's not willing to disclose that. He's crossing the arms because now he's dead. See the skull here? He's crossing his arms, and he's not going to disclose that. He's not going to disclose if there's any of that money left, and he certainly isn't going to reveal it. So this is very interesting because he had a plan, and he was trained in making plans and carrying out the plans. So he was doing what he was trained for. And he feels like he was very well trained in that. And so let's ask the regular tarot cards is there anything else we have to know about this D.B. Cooper plane hijacking? So he suffered quite an injury when he landed. So when he landed, he thought that it killed him. So he had a bad landing when he parachuted out of that. Plus the fact there was a lot of confusion around his entire life, he said. So he didn't know what his priorities were. So he was a deadbeat dad, so he didn't take care of his family, he didn't take care of anything in his life. He was kind of like a loner person, which is very interesting. But look at this, he was deceptive. He was deceptive, and you'd have to be deceptive to be a criminal like that. So he was a criminal. I think that this is his children, and I feel like he was trying to make an offer, like some kind of offering to rekindle a relationship with his children. Interesting to be what they thought about him. So he's up in spirit now, and he's made peace with his life down here. So this is going to spirit, and this is making peace, making it, he's balanced, or he feels like he's, made peace with what he did down here. So, he's moved on, but that would be pretty quickly. Look at this. He actually still feels very proud of what he did, and he feels like life dealt him an unfair card, like if you want to call it, like life from early on. It feels like he doesn't talk about his childhood as being very good, and that the military was not very good to him. And he said, I got what I earned. I mean, he feels like he literally deserved that money. So I'm going to say here that I think that this case is solved, even though he was never arrested for it. I just believe that it was him. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is interesting, because Washington has mountains and ocean, and there he is with a cane walking out of a situation. This is very, very interesting, folks. So what do you think? Leave your comments below. Do you think that D.B. Cooper is Robert Rickshaw? Let me know your thoughts on this, and thank you for joining this mystery.